The Price of Success. Max sat on a bench in the park holding an old photograph. In it he and Lisa, shilly smiling against the backdrop of a summer sunset. It felt like it had happened in another life, so long ago. He gently stroked the edge of the photo, almost as if trying to bring back the feeling of the tenderness that once existed between them. I really loved her, he thought, and the pain pierced his chest again, just like the day she said to him, "You can't give me what I want." Goodbye. At that moment his world collapsed. He couldn't understand how it had happened. He and Lisa had been together for several years. He was just an ordinary guy with dreams and ambitions, but with almost no opportunities. He worked at a bar at night, studied English, and tried to break into the business world. But Lisa dreamed of something else. She wanted luxury travel, expensive brands, and the kind of attention only wealth could provide. Max was not rich, and that weighed on him. He understood that he couldn't offer her what she dreamed of, but he hoped that her love wouldn't depend on money. Yet soon she met someone else, a successful entrepreneur who not only could offer her luxury, but promised her a life on top. That day when she told him goodbye, Max remembered as if it had been yesterday. She stood in front of him, and in her eyes there was neither regret nor emotion. It was just a fact. She left for someone new, someone who could give her everything she dreamed of. Max was shattered. He didn't leave his bed for days, avoided going outside, and couldn't face his friends. He couldn't understand why their love and their relationship hadn't been enough for her to stay. Why had she chosen money over him? He had been honest, he had been sincere. But it wasn't enough. It was all so painful. He blamed himself for not being able to give her a better life. He thought that if only he had earned more, if only he had been more successful, she would have stayed. That feeling of envy toward Lisa's new man gnawed at him like an unbearable pain that wouldn't leave him for a second. Every time he thought about her now being with him, with someone who seemed to solve all her problems, Max felt like a nobody. But one night, when the pain was especially sharp, he looked at himself in the mirror and said, "I can't live like this anymore. I won't complain, I'll fight." It wasn't about revenge or wanting to get back at her. He simply decided that he wanted to prove to himself that he could be more. He was tired of being weak. "I will do everything to become the person she never thought I could be," Max told himself. He began working even harder. Max threw himself into his work, though he knew the road wouldn't be easy. First, he got a job at a small advertising company. During the day, he studied new materials, analyzed the market, wrote texts, and came up with ideas. At night, he read books on personal development and marketing. In his free time, he freelanced, creating logos and branding concepts for small businesses. He didn't look for shortcuts. He knew that success was the result of hard work, not luck. A year went by, and Max finally had the courage to start his own business. He launched a small online platform that helped small businesses promote their products on social media. His startup wasn't immediately successful. In the beginning, he worked 16 hours a day, earning almost nothing, but he didn't give up. He believed that if he kept going, everything would fall into place. Gradually, he attracted clients, found partners, and improved his platform. Then came the breakthrough. After 2 years of starting his business, Max landed his first major contract. His company began to grow, he hired his first employees, improved the product, and established connections with major brands. He opened more offices in other cities, and his project became successful, attracting the attention of investors. 3 years later, Max had become one of the youngest entrepreneurs in the country. His name was frequently mentioned in business circles. He had become a symbol of how perseverance and hard work could lead to success, regardless of where one started. Even Max couldn't believe how his life had changed. Now, he could afford anything he wanted. He bought expensive cars, traveled the world, invested in new startups, but most importantly, he lived the way he wanted, and he felt confident doing it. One day at one of those high-end business receptions organized by a major investment company, Max found himself surrounded by well-known figures in the industry. He never expected to see her there, but in the crowd he spotted a familiar silhouette. It was Liza. She looked exactly the same as she had years ago. The same confidence in her eyes, the same flawless hair, the same grooming that Max had always admired. She was wearing an expensive dress with the man she was now calling her ideal partner. It was the same businessman she had chosen over Max. Max felt his heart skip a beat. He didn't know what to do. Should he approach her? Walk past her? Say something? But he made up his mind immediately. He walked up to Liza, not hiding his confidence. She recognized him right away. Max? Her voice sounded surprised. You've changed? Max looked at her, and inside, he didn't feel anger or regret. Just the realization that he was no longer the person he had been. And not the person she had once seen him as. Yes, I've changed, he replied with a calm smile. I became the person I always wanted to be. And you know, Liza, I'm glad you didn't wait for me. She looked at him, trying to understand what exactly he meant, but she realized that words didn't matter anymore. She understood everything. You don't regret it? She asked, no longer with the desire to get him back, but with some kind of internal surprise. I thought you would regret not being able to give me everything I dreamed of. Max smiled. No, I don't regret it. I gave myself everything I wanted. I became successful because I wanted to. And you lost more than just me. He turned and walked away, leaving her standing in the middle of the hall. Liza stayed there, watching him walk away, realizing that she had lost more than just a person. Max didn't think about revenge. He didn't want to get back anything lost. He simply understood that he didn't need other people or their recognition for happiness. He had become everything he had ever wanted to be. This story wasn't about revenge. It was about how someone can change their life despite the circumstances and prove to themselves that they can become more than anyone ever expected. Max had not only overcome external challenges but had also conquered himself, and his success became the only answer to all the questions.